Hey everybody, I'm Amber.
And I'm Maddie.
And we're
Witches Talking Tarot.
And today we are talking about forest dwellers, specifically the protectors of the forest, such as Pan, the wonderful Greek god of all things wild and one of the few gods that I follow, the Leshy, a Russian, or rather Slavic, because he's in Russia as well as pretty much everywhere else, a Slavic forest protector.
Cernunnos.
Yes,
from
Celtic.
Ireland. Yes, I'm very excited.
Man, he's a
Cernunnos
association, but you'll see overlaps between a lot of these. And then the Skogvaettir, which is a Nordic, they're like satyrs without the goat parts, and they're a little bit more wild.
And there actually are satyrs too. Like those with the Greeks as well.
Yeah,
we'll be discussing them now. Satyrs are a little wild. Satyrs are Greek. Check out our last episode.
Yeah. We're getting with the Greek this week.
I know.
For Valentine's.
Well, I say that.
Lupercalia.
Right.
So Roman. But you know.
Right. So
it's all good in the neighborhood. They're kind of in the same neighborhood.
It's funny. The more we do about Greek and Romans, I'm like, they were so rowdy. That's why the Christians were like, we got to put an end to this. You know what I mean? Because, they be doing some crazy shit, like the satyrs in this one. And Lupercalia.
I mean, I don't know. They're like the frat boys of...
There's a reason they are.
That show of all the different pantheons in an office setting is made... The Greeks and Romans are going to be the frat boys of the situation.
Right, 100%.
100%.
They're like, oh God, it's the Greeks. Oh my God, no. What if they're like, oh God, it's the Romans? And they walk in and they're like walking like this. Hey guys.
Literally, whenever...
I hate those guys.
Okay, you guys want to peek into Amber's brain? Whenever I think the word Roman... I think of the first sentence I learned in Latin class, which is sub arbore amicae, which means the girls are sitting under the tree, essentially. But that is
very nymphy. It
doesn't matter what I'm doing. If the word Roman is brought up, that sentence pops in my head. And I was realizing that is why it's always a super simple ass sentence that you first learn when you're being introduced to a language. Because it just makes it fucking easier.
Right.
You know? When it's the dog is brown. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I have Duolingo on my phone. I'm learning High Valyrian. It's really cool. I can say one sentence.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And you recognized some of it.
I did, actually. Yeah. I was watching The House of Dragon and I recognized some of it. It's not, it's cool. I'm embarrassed.
It's fun. That's fun. Look, I have friends that can read Elvish and I'm jealous.
Oh, hell yeah.
Tolkien's Elvish.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, my buddy, I did his wedding. He's got Elvish on his arm, tattooed on him.
Nice.
And I wish I could read it.
I love that. I love that. That's
super
awesome.
Cool. Oh my God, did I say the wrong friend? It might have been a mutual friend of ours. Or do they? Maybe they both. I don't know. Anyway.
Something that is very common amongst cultures all over the all over the world, not just the United States, is that they all seem to have some sort of being or multiple beings in the forest that kind of embody that feeling that you get when you're in the forest by yourself. Or maybe you're driving down the street or the roads and there's a field, and at the edge of the field there's all those trees. You get that feeling that there's something there
at the edge. And sometimes it's a deer.
Maybe, yeah.
Cernunnos. Looking at you, bud. I didn't even realize I was making a joke. You didn't even do that on purpose. Yeah, no. I thought I was just being stupid.
I do love Cernunnos. I think he's one of my favorite forest.
I have an icon of him in my house.
I love the way he looks. See,
actually, I have two icons because I have a Green Man thing as well as him with horns.
Well, for me, Pan, I'm not a big fan of... I like Pan, but I'm not a big fan of the imagery. If I had to choose an imagery of a green man or of like the forest god, it's going to be Cernunnos because I love deer. And to me, deer and the mighty stag is very much the embodiment of the beauty and the grace, but also the of the forest.
I've been thinking about it, especially because of this episode and some conversation from the last episodes. Maybe you'll figure it out if you go back and listen to them. But as far as the imagery goes, I'm beginning to like Pan more because mostly you see him with just 2 legs. He doesn't have the 4. He doesn't have like...
No.
Cernunnos definitely has like the horseback
Does he?
thing. That's how I've always seen him pictured. I've never seen him with just 2 legs.
He's like a centaur, but like...
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to look him up just because...
I've always seen him like a centaur, yes. And Pan, whereas some might think of him as like a satyr with it's got all 4 of the goat legs. No, most of the time, he's got 2 goat legs and he's doing a little fucking jig while he's going on his reed pipe.
Yeah.
And I love the shit out of the Pan imagery. Also, because he is a goat, he is more nimble. So he can go higher and in more places in the forest than Cernunnos would be able to achieve because of both his rack as well as less nimble footing. Nothing against deer, just literally something I wanted to mention because we had kind of been talking about Pan's body type before. And I was like realizing most things represent at least Pan, if not other satyrs, because I'm not as familiar with the other satyrs other than the kid from Percy Jackson. But they usually just have 2 legs.
Yeah.
And that is something that is more comfortable for me as a human being. And I realize this is where the preference of imagery comes from, 100%. It has nothing to do with liking goats better than deer, because other than the fact that I don't have to dodge goats for my job on a daily basis, and I do have to make sure I'm not dodging deer, I just prefer the body type of the 2 legs versus the horse, and...
Speaking of Pan and the goat thing, Amber, you got a book to write.
I do. You got a book to write. I was thinking about how it starts. Like, I was already, like, thinking, like, so I'm gonna... The first, like, chapter, or at least the first part of the first chapter, is gonna have to be her going through her day, and, like, she hears, like, reed pipe music, and she's like, what the fuck was that? And, like, all this stuff that... Later, once she's in her dream with Pan, all of those things are going to make sense to the reader. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
you guys just be on the lookout because it's going to be awesome.
Pan is my man.
Oh my God! Every one of our listeners should buy Amber's book if she puts it out there, because wow, that'd be cool.
Oh, speaking of books, Maddie has one and another one coming.
I know. I'm working on them, guys.
Yeah, but like. Abhorrence and Affection is out there.
Yeah.
It's in the Etsy. That'll be in the
link.
The comment, not comments, bio.
No. The description.
Description. Thank you. Why is that so hard for me?
So I think for me, my preference to Cernunnos versus Pan is strictly regional. We don't really have wild goats around here, so it doesn't make sense to me to imagine the forest, the guardian of the forest, the deity of the forest, to be a goat. Around here, we have a lot of deer. So it makes sense for him to be a stag, in my opinion, just because of where we live. Which, I think that, again, spirits or forest guardians change with the region as well because of the cultures. You know what I mean?
Like, I mean, that makes sense completely.
There's more wild goats.
Because out west, it would be Pan.
Well, out west, or I'm sorry.
They do have wild goats.
They do? They do.
And sheep and rams and stuff.
So that would make sense. Around here, it would be more like a stag. Or, oh my God, I know this is not accurate, but like I could see in Oklahoma a bison. A big, strong bison. I know they're not in the woods, but like...
Yeah, that would be more of a plains protector.
You think so?
Yeah, they're totally a plain.
Oh,
yeah, I would see that like 100%.
Because
like them stampeding across the plains as like a protection thing. That's beautiful.
Right.
I like that.
So I think everything would change depending on the region.
And
totally.
I mean, and you know, in the Nordic stuff, it does. So the Skogvaettir that I mentioned earlier, the Nordic satyrs that don't have goat parts, but they are way more feral, way more primal, way more into sex and violence.
It's all about the sex.
It really is.
It's Valentine's Day.
They do love to
Yeah, the
pound it.
satyrs love like everything.
Yeah, they do, because they fuck like goats. They're horny.
Oh God, do they make?
Because
do
you know
they make
horny
the
comes
noise?
from goats, right? Literally, that's where that comes from.
Oh, because of their horns.
Well, because when the goats' horns would come in and they'd start fucking, because like that's when the testosterone hits is the same time or whatever. So that's where the term horny came from, is literally goats. And I think that's why satyrs are so like sexually charged, whereas like you don't read that so much about Cernunnos or like centaurs as much. But like satyrs, they're all about rabbit-like fucking, except they're goat-like.
So would they make the noise, the bah noise? Is Pan make that?
Absolutely.
Does Pan make that? You think so?
No, I think his partners. When
when they're sheep. Okay.
Or goats, or Pan takes any partners.
So do satyrs. To be fair, there's like so much art of just
just like any kind, like it's animals, it's people, it's deities, it's half deity, it's whatever they want, they will. They are Pan.
Right.
Pansexual comes from Pan.
Oh my God, you're so right.
Yeah,
you're
absolutely.
so right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The satyrs, everything. It's everything.
So
and that's not an insult. I'm just using, like, etymology, guys.
Right, no.
It was a class I wanted to take in high school, and it got canceled. And if I could take Latin and etymology at the same time, I would be a different person today.
So the reason why forest deities are all about the sex is because that's what animals be doing. They don't have TV. They don't do anything. What else is there to do?
Yeah. Well, not just that, but I was going to say in the Nordic, like all that Vatir part of the Skogvaettir, that's like what Maddie was talking about, like where the plains and everything has different spirits.
Yes.
Like in the Nordic, that the Skogvaettir is specifically the forest one, and then there's like all sorts of other environments. And so I think as it goes through, we should pick some other I would love to do swamps.
Ooh.
Oh, guys, swamps. Oh, Louisiana folklore, here we come. Oh, sorry. But anyway, like, it does make sense that forest dwellers are all about the sex, at least when they are connected to goats. Anyway.
I think so. Well, I think it makes sense with the deer as well, because, like, when deer and like...
Yeah, when they're in rut, yeah. But other than, like, I mean, he's associated with fertility because of, like, being the green man or Cernunnos and the guy of the forest, but I didn't read a whole lot about like high sexual activity. Is there a lot of like sexual connotations with
Cernunnos? You know, I think with Cernunnos, it's less like the high sexual thing and more of the fact that what is the forest full of? Life.
Yes.
And the way to give life is with the sex.
Well, and it's all about the cycle of life as well. So one thing that I loved about Cernunnos that I found out in this research that I'd never read before, he's a psychopomp in some lines of belief in the Celtic system, where he comforts and sings to the newly departed and leads them to the other world.
Oh, I love that.
He sings to them. Isn't that beautiful?
That is gorgeous. That's very similar to Pan with his flute.
Oh, yes, very, very much so. And also it made me think like something about the birds. I remember reading, and we're going to have to do an episode on this. I already talked to Maddie, but I remember reading something about birds, like doing singing at like deceased loved ones. And I wonder if that is maybe connected, because birds are huge in the forest.
Right,
you know
exactly.
what I mean?
I wonder if that is related.
I do wonder. I do.
So the thing about really Pan is he doesn't just sing, he will scream.
Sexy.
He will scream at you.
He will.
He will. That's where
Pan
the term
behaves
Pan
based on your behavior. So
Yep.
you know what? Soapbox time. Stop leaving your motherfucking trash out there.
Because Pan will yell at you.
There are things called fucking trash cans, guys. They exist at gas stations. They exist in your home. They exist all over. And you can throw your trash away instead of putting it on the ground to dirty it. Sorry, I was at the gas station right before I came to get you.
Mm-hmm.
And the amount of trash in the fucking parking lot from people walking out of the gas station and just throwing their fucking trash on the way to their cars, I got so mad.
I am shocked.
Fucking stop. This is why Pan is my god. You know what?
No.
Because fuck you guys. Not you guys. If you're listening to us, you're probably not
No,
like that. I'm sorry. I just want to pump you up too.
I was literally driving on the highway.
Sorry. Literally.
And
so
this
angry.
fucking C word, literally, and I'm going to go ahead and say that, she rolls down her window.
Oh, this bitch.
Yeah, rolls down her window and throws out all of her McDonald's trash onto the fucking road. Yes, onto the road. So I pull up beside her and I flip that bitch off because,
absolutely.
like, I'm sorry, maybe I shouldn't have done that, but I did. And this bitch had the audacity to look at me like, what'd I do? What the fuck do you mean, bitch?
How do you not know what you just dumped an entire bag of trash out your fucking car window into the fucking street, and you don't know what the fuck is wrong with that situation on your end.
Right.
There is a fucking problem with you.
Well, not only that, but
I'm sorry, I did say soapbox.
No, you are so right. Like, because not only is it
this
fucking
is force
littering.
protector energy.
Yeah, seriously. But not only is it trash and shitty to do, but you just threw food out in the middle of a busy highway, which is going to attract what?
Fucking animals.
Which
is going to die under your fucking car wheels because you don't understand that animals are fucking important and they are just as... You know what? Like, I had this new thought about reincarnation ever since our reincarnation episode. And I told you, like, my belief is that, like, you know, people, if you're, like, a crappy person, you might, like, reincarnate as a snail or something, right? And if you're really, really awesome, like, you'll be a better person until you, like, reach nirvana. I am starting to think that maybe person is where you start.
You think
maybe you get to become a butterfly. Maybe you get to become a fucking tree.
Oh, that's gorgeous, but also so sad because people
look at us. Yeah. Like,
I mean, you know,
if the majority of us thought like us, then
please make there be a scene in your novel where Pan cries. I'm sorry. Yeah, or not even the trash. What if they like go?
What if he cries because he's like, I am so turned on by you yelling at these people about their trash.
Oh my god, yeah. Or like, I don't know, maybe
he's moved to tears and then he's moved and so you gotta go inside again.
Right.
Because like you're not leaving the house much with Pan around.
Or a tree got
fuck that. I'm in a grove. Anyway, that's a different episode. This is about forest protectors. They do fuck a lot though, so that's where it comes into play. At least with Pan. Pan and the other satyrs and the Skogvaettir. Which is a fun word to say. I like it. It's got the A-E together thing, like the Norse
It's like the thing.
Yeah, it's not Tuathadadanon. But it's got fun characters like that.
Tuathadadanon. Every time. But anyway, yeah, and what do you think, Amber? What do you think about the forest creatures? Do you think that they're only in the forest, or do you think there's some right there in your little patch of like bamboo? Like, are they specifically forest, or are they all of nature?
So I think very much like the Skogvaettir and the differences in like the Greek, because you got the forest, like you've got tree nymphs and you've got water nymphs and right. So and sorry guys, I didn't refresh myself on tree nymphs. I really apologize. And like you've got all these different like house spirits. I think you also have yard spirits. Like, and maybe that's just because that is the Slavic belief.
I think the Norse have something.
Yeah, the Norse do too. Yeah, I saw that. I didn't read all of theirs, but as I've been learning more and more about the Slavic mythology and Slavic belief systems, so I can incorporate it better. I've learned about like the domovoi and the kikamora. So the domovoi is a male house spirit that protects your house as long as you like make him happy by like living
being a good life.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
Check out our previous episode. That was in season 1.
That was season 1, yeah. And then apparently his wife is the Kikamora, which will come up more in the swamp episode because she's associated with swamps as well. But she stays in your kitchen and she's a crazy bitch if you don't live right. And if you do live right, she's good. You know, because happy wife, happy life. So the mama boy's happy if his wife is happy.
I love that.
Yeah, me too. So like I very
Sorry,
much
I'm just
think-
braiding
no,
my
you're
hair. It's
fine.
driving me nuts.
Because like they also have like bathhouse spirits in the Russian and Slavic pantheon.
There's pretty much a spirit everywhere.
There's a spirit for everywhere because like the Rusalka are water spirits, and so like the Leshy is the forest spirit. And I really think that like I don't know what the house yard spirit is yet. I haven't learned that one, but like. Just like there are all these different regions of spirits and all these different things. And you know what? I'm sure when you look closer through Celtic, in Celtic, there's definitely all those different because like the gnomes
the Fae
like, stay
themselves.
in the... Like, when we did the gnome episode, didn't we learn that some of them are in your yard? Like, and that's how the yard gnome thing kind of happened because gnomes were associated with, like, protecting your yard, right?
Yes.
So, like, I do believe in that same, like, lens that a Leshy or not necessarily Pan, because I think Pan might come here for me, but a regular satyr or other... sorry, I said it weird, guys.
I was confused.
Like, the Y. My brain, like, saw the Y.
No, it's okay. I got confused for a minute. I was like, satyr.
Yeah, it was just the Y. Like, do you guys picture words in your head as you talk? Because I do.
I do sometimes.
Yeah, I do.
And I fucking butcher that shit, especially on my lives on Facebook. As you well know.
Yeah, so it's just, I didn't mean, but I said it weird. But anyway, like, I don't think necessarily they'd be in my yard, but, like, would they be in the woods over at Wildcat Glades? Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
Yeah, for sure. Like, and, like, I want to talk about the Leshy just a little bit because he's got some really cool lore. So, the Leshy is the Slavic forest spirit. His name means he from the forest or old man of the forest. He is masculine and humanoid, right? So, he's got, like, a humanoid type of body.
Can I tell you how I imagine him?
Yes.
Marvin the Martian.
Oh, but he's like big. Okay,
I don't know why I see him as that.
Like an Ent from the waist down.
Uh-huh.
And the Green Man sort of from the waist up.
I almost said, but how does he move? But Ents walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that he's got like two trunks.
Yeah, I see him like he's got two tree trunk type of legs. He's got like this greenish body, but he's very like it's very trunk-like. It's very tree-like, but also human-like, right? And then he's got like a beard, and it's kind of mossy colored, like very much like it looks like moss growing on his face.
I'd like that.
And his hair is very much like that other kind of moss that's like not Spanish moss, but like that kind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he's got horns because Leshies always have horns, and they always have green eyes too. But I picture like his skin has a green tint, like the green children of Wolf. Sorry. You know, like just slightly green tinged.
Right, I hear you.
Yeah, like
for me, it's more brown. I like as you're describing it, brown like a tree.
Right. Yeah, I could see that too. I could see the skin having the brown,
or like his skin has the. What is it? It grows on a tree. It's not
the
moss.
lichen.
Yes.
The little lichen thingies.
Yes.
Yes, I could see that. But like he's a shapeshifter. He can take any size he wants, any shape he wants. In the forest, he can be as tall as a tree. But when he hits the border, he gets as little as a blade of grass.
I love that because if he's like chasing you,
he's like run,
right, and you're like oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and then you get to the other side of the fucking forest,
and he's like standing at the edge.
Yeah, I know. Like I love that. I do.
I had to write that. I was giddy when I was like,
I know.
And he takes a step back. I'll get you next time.
I know, right?
But because the Leshy is up in the Slavic woods, there are some like darker kind of things about him. Like they say never listen and follow the voice of the Leshy because if he leads you off the track, you won't come back.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, like that's a good way to get people to stay on the trail or else you'll fucking get lost and could possibly die.
Right.
Remember that picture of that little boy?
Yeah.
He listened to the Leshy. Dude, I hope he's okay.
But the forest dwellers had him. Okay, so like that's the other thing. If the Leshy like
do you
took
think
a kid,
so? Honestly, do you think he could have
been
been protected by a forest spirit?
That's how he
that
survived.
Fucking kid. I hope he looks okay because he was fucked up.
I hope he ate a lot of steak.
He looked. Oh my god,
baby.
Damn.
Because imagine the things you see. Because, like, that actually leads perfectly into what I was about to say, which is, in the Slavic lands, like, it was much nicer to think that the Leshy took your child to live with the forest dwellers than what might really happen if your child disappeared in the woods.
A bear. Because Russia has bears.
Oh, yeah, and wolves. Wolves are, like... Wolves to this day, like, I've watched videos, I've seen horror movies. I like Russian horror movies,
I was going to say something horrible. It used to be funny, but it's not funny anymore.
Like, this dude was, like, hunted down by a wolf, and, like, he was walking, like, I don't know, like, 20 yards or 20 feet or something in the snow, and some, like, lone wolf literally, like, stalked this man and murdered him. Like, it was within the last 20 or 50 years. I mean, it was not that long ago. And it was somewhere in the Slavic lands.
A dingo. I know. That's horrible.
Don't say it out loud. Don't say it out loud. Okay.
It's horrible. It's actually
We've talked about it on here before, I think. I can't remember. He can be heard laughing or whistling or singing out in the woods, which is very Pan and Cernunnos.
I like it because I don't think he's he's not negative. He's just don't fucking be disrespectful.
Yes, he is. He's got that same Pan energy where it seems in tales, like there's a lot of tales where it's like, watch out, the Leshy might take you, because that's an easier way to think about what happens to your family members than when they die. But most of the tales are kind of like, the Leshy's cool if you're cool, and the Leshy is gonna fuck with you if you're not cool in the forest. So if you're walking around in Poland or Croatia or Serbia or Russia or Ukraine, and also, guys, thank you all for listening. Like, over half the Slavic countries listen to us, and it's kind of cool. Like, that's Georgia and Jersey. And like, so many. So thank you, guys. I hope I'm doing a little bit of justice to where you come from and where my family hailed from. I'm trying. But, like, if you're walking in the woods out there, hug a tree. Don't fucking throw trash down, because the Leshy gonna fuck with you. And the Slavs are the original tree huggers. Like, it's part of our religion. So
hugging them?
Hug a tree, yeah. Yeah, like, seriously, like, Slavs have been hugging trees for as long as there's, like, recorded history from something I read. And I'm cool with that. Like, I feel that.
That's awesome.
I hug trees all the time. I walk up and put my hands on them. And when I was younger, I used to be like, people think this is weird. And now I'm like, come here, baby. Mind your business.
Right.
Whatever. I don't know. There's a lot of, I'm sure, like, there's a ton of other specific named, like, because there's the Polish Porvit and all sorts of other, like, the Roman Faunus and Sylvanus that you had read about, where we get Transylvania and Pennsylvania. They get their Sylvania from Sylvanus, because he was really cool. And there's a ton of forest protectors, and if you're interested in that energy, you can look into them, and there's so many out there.
There's so many. In almost every culture.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some in Native American culture. I would don't
say
know it.
As long as there is a wooded area, there's probably a forest deity associated. And if there's not a wooded area, then there is a deity for that specific type of area.
Yes,
or not
exactly.
necessarily
Like
a deity.
The plains.
I'm sorry. But a spirit, like the plains. I do love the idea of, like, a herd of buffalo across the plain. And it's like
you can see their breath.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. Beautiful.
And it's just like this protective energy as they run across.
Speaking of Oklahoma and buffalo, Melissa said she was going to go to Oklahoma, I think.
Hey, Melissa.
Hey,
Thanks
Melissa.
for being our patron. We appreciate you.
Sorry, I just thought I'd get that in here real quick.
No,
like that.
Like, as soon as you said that, I was like, is she going to mention Melissa? And you did.
Yeah, she said
I saw it on the live last night.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
Sorry. Every Wednesday night, Maddie goes live on her Facebook on Peace, Love, and Tea Leaves, and I go live every Monday. And sometimes we join each other. So if you want more
Monday.
of your favorite witches, actually, when you guys are listening, not this Monday, but from when we're recording this Monday,
right? We'll be going live, and we're gonna be doing like this really cool like French press coffee blend, talking about allspice. Like it's gonna be like a spice
it's gonna be like a chai coffee. I can't.
Yeah, put a little alcohol in that. I'm trying to think. A spiced Irish coffee with some Baileys. That would make it an official chai latte. or chai coffee, I think.
Would it?
I think so. Because, like, to make it chai, you have to add either black tea or cream.
Oh,
I had looked that up, yeah.
Okay.
Or steamed milk.
Fair enough. And I always add cream, so I guess it will always be official. But officially, I think I've run out of things.
I think
okay, so let me rephrase. I could keep talking for a really long time. I can't think of anything relevant that would add to this.
I can't think of anything either. I think we covered them all really well. Are there forest spirits where you're from? Because I know we didn't cover every country, and like you said, lots of countries be listening to us.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of them. So thank you all. We appreciate you. Yeah, super cool. Like, every time we get a new Slavic country, I'm like, oh my god, another one. Don't judge me. Well, I don't care if you judge me. Fuck you guys. Not really. Thank you for listening. Seriously, though.
Check us if you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah, and comment your favorite forest deity or forest protector, or just comment like anything. It helps our algorithm, and we appreciate
it really does. And we are so close to 3,000 plays. Sorry, I had to take a little...
Yeah. And if you're listening on any of the podcast platforms, feel free to rate and review. That also helps us in the algorithms. And definitely take the time to check us out on Patreon, where Melissa is with us at, where Witches Talking Tarot on Patreon. Or you can find us on the socials, such as Twitter at Classiest Witches. And Instagram.
At Witches Talking Tarot. And we're on Facebook now at Witches Talking Tarot. Please give us a like. I was actually just checking our anchor. That's what I was doing. That's how I saw we are so
close
freaking close.
I know.
We really
By the time
are.
this airs, we're going to be at 3,000.
Yeah, for sure.
I
would think so.
Because you guys are amazing, and we appreciate your time.
Right, and guys, we still are like, I think actually we have 86 followers on Facebook, and our goal was 100. So I don't know.
We are so close.
Right?
Yeah,
I'm not sure what that is.
So
anyway. I'm sorry, YouTube. I meant YouTube.
Okay, I was like, I thought we well surpassed 100.
We did. I meant YouTube.
Cool. Okay.
Yep,
yeah,
86.
But, I mean, you can find us on all sorts of different platforms, and we'll be your favorite witches wherever you want to find us. So,
thanks for sitting with us for a spell.